Speaking of taking a risk, Sudbury post-secondary schools easing COVID policies next month. This article, I don't know, I want to hear your opinion on it. This article was making the point that it was reckless and irresponsible for Laurentian to lift a lot of its mandates and restrictions, especially for programs focused on health, because a lot of the time these students are going into high-risk places, like nursing homes and the hospital, problematic, things like that. So what was your take on that?
So by lifting it a little bit too early, didn't they have a vaccine mandate early on for any of the students that had to be a part of the last year kind of thing? Weren't you even part of this?
Yeah. So every student on campus was part of that.
For sure. So they all were vaccinated. They were told they could not participate, faculty or students, and come on campus. Even the online students had to be fully vaccinated.
There was no recourse. You had to be vaccinated.
And what were the vaccines for?
I don't know what you mean.
Why did they need to be vaccinated?
Oh, the idea was, I think it was twofold. I think it was personal protection, and I think it was we were talking about social justice. It's like a social prevention. That was the twofold approach, I think.
My father-in-law said, I can't wait to get vaccinated. That way I don't have to keep wearing these masks.
Yeah, I think a lot of people falsely believed that. That was never really the... I don't remember ever being told that.
No, I didn't. But that's what everybody thought. They thought, well, I think some people said we need to be vaccinated so we can get through the COVID thing. Everyone needs to be vaccinated so we can go back to normal.
Well, that we were told.
We can go back to normal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then everyone was vaccinated and nothing went back to normal, right? So I don't know. I still am perplexed on the whole how everything rolled out. So this just kind of goes along with that for me. It's Is it dangerous that they tried to go back to normal and that's what everyone's trying to do? If I get a polio vaccine, do I have to continually be afraid of polio if I'm vaccinated against it?
Well, I think it's a free market thing,
I don't understand.
Too. Like, have you noticed since the Ontario masking mandate was lifted, it wasn't an immediate drop-off in terms of the number of people that went maskless in public settings. It kind of took a few weeks to kind of ease off because it's a free, when people have the choice, they feel like, it's up to them to kind of do some research and think of, is this past my risk tolerance kind of thing. But when you don't give them the choice, they don't really have to think about stuff. Mm-hmm. Like I've heard multiple smart people say things along those lines of, you don't really need to think about it because the government's already, thought about it.
Exactly.
So Robert Hache.
Robert Hache, correct.
Said that he'll personally continue to wear his mask on campus and is booked for his 4th COVID shot.
So he's going to get 4 shots, and plus he's going to wear his mask.
He's going to continue personally to wear the mask, but I'm sure that has no effect whatsoever on his attitude toward the mandate. Mask mandate. I'm sure he's objective on that.
Well, I think he's being an example of what his personal beliefs are. If he's fully vaccinated with the 4th booster.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a 4th booster, but it's the 4th shot. It's the 2nd booster.
The other point was Macmillan Boyles is... I'll have to find what her
comment was?
Her title is.
Oh, that's...
But anyways, public health, very important person, Christina Macmillan Boyles, assistant professor, LU School of Nursing. Sorry, I found it.
Okay.
She said... The lackadaisical approach of lessening masking and vaccination requirements on campus puts students studying healthcare disciplines, like I said, at risk of contracting the virus, and that's one part of it. And the other part of it is, there's no evidence, she says, to suggest that removing vaccine mandate and mask mandate is a good idea.
Is there evidence to suggest
that's
the other side?
Thing that made me laugh.
Is there any evidence on either side?
When I heard it, it made me laugh because we...
Yeah.
Well, you could say that. We can both say that.
That's what I mean. It's a true statement she said, but it's also true on the other side. Is there any evidence?
What's that called? Whataboutism?
Yeah, it's almost
called
like
whataboutism.
If you take it back to almost like this debate of is God real?
Well, do you have proof he doesn't exist?
Do you have proof that
he
God
does
exists? That's what a lot of people will
It's
say
just,
on one side, but then another one who believes in God will say, well, do you have proof he doesn't exist? It's just going to go on and on.
Which
Same
side
idea, right?
is the burden of proof on?
Exactly.
That's the real question.
Yeah.
You're a public health.
Yeah.
You're a nursing professor. I would think the burden of proof is on you to use your knowledge to convince people.
I'm just going to say
you know?
this. So if you find that your student enrollment is going down from students contracting COVID and dying, and then you say, well, they were here last year, but now they're no longer with us. They passed on because they came to Laurentian and they contracted COVID, and now they're no longer with us. That is a really compelling argument.
Yeah.
For why you should continue to have these very these protocols that are, the vaccine mandates, the mask mandates. But other than that, it's just speculation. It's almost like the stock market. It's like, I don't feel safe.
But isn't that
I just don't
public
feel
health
safe.
is
But what kind of numbers are there on any side, really?
Isn't that what public health is at its base? Is just speculation?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. So
they would just be a hospital if they were reactionary.
Yeah,
right?
And these particular people are going to graduate, and they are going to go into hospitals.
Right.
And they're going to be exposed to a lot of these things on a constant basis. So, I mean, it's just, I think part of getting back to normal is this now realization of getting over the sensationalism side of what we just continued, and it was sensationalized.
Sure.
And now we can just use our common sense and look at what the outcomes were. How many relatives did we lose? How many friends did you lose in a worldwide pandemic? Just use that as your own.
Arguably the worst pandemic.
The worst
in 100
pandemic
years.
the world has ever had. How many friends did you lose? How many families? And my heart does go out to anybody, by the way.
A lot of people
who
did die,
lose them, and I'm not saying that didn't happen, but I'm saying, does that compare to the sensationalism of the worldwide
Doesn't match up though.
hysteria? Let's say it was hysteria, and there is a hysteria element there if you really want to kind of boil it down. So that's what you just need to look at those types of things, in my view, and then make your own decisions on that. And I think, like you said, the free market really should, if you feel like
convince people. That's what I think. Convince people.
Like Robert Hache says, I'm doing this because I'm going to keep myself safe, and then the other person can do that and keep themselves safe, and everybody is they're moderating their own health their own way, and they're going to have their own kind of repercussions.
We're going to skip the auction real estate story for today. We'll probably push it to tomorrow.
I think we should, yeah.
But because I want enough time to talk about that and to do some more research. But this point to me is just, it's totally lost on the, supposedly smart administrators of post-secondary institutions and other government, because it's all kind of the same thing. Government people.
They're linked.
They're what is a university supposed to be for? Apparently it's for learning to be told what to do.
Yeah, it's not, I guess.
Just do whatever you're told. It's not to do,
we used to be to prepare you for the real world.
I thought it was to
right?
open your mind.
And prepare you to be a critical thinker. And
it's
get
mostly
out there.
about critical thinking.
And
thinking
be
for
prepared.
yourself.
Yeah.
I think university, that is no longer the case. I think university is a professional development and career development place.
And
it's moved into that space. It's fully, eclipsed.
And you're currently there, so you're currently observing what you're experiencing in the now for having an opinion like that. So you're there now, and that's what you're.
Well, if someone disagrees with me, they can,
and this isn't
give me their points.
And this isn't the only university that you've attended as well. So
I've seen other.
In two different countries. So you've seen
another
both
university. Of them, I think,
are similar, right?
At least Laurentian, I guess, is. Well, not at least. It's worse. I think Laurentian's a lot less self-aware. It hasn't fully accepted the fact that it is a more expensive college.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's a career training resume builder. It's not a open your mind, thing. This radio station kind of prides itself on being anyone can have a show and do all these things. Is there more training or is there more doing of the show?
There's more doing.
I think it's more about just doing it.
Doing
and
it.
getting trained. Like,
Yeah.
you trained on the job.
You're in
That's
the
what
fire.
university really is now.
Yeah.
It's not like a development of ideas and theoretical knowledge and critical thinking. It's more just like, just get this done, and then when you're done, you'll have this thing to show for it.
Well, this conversation is going to be continued because it's ongoing, and the pandemic is still kind of lingering there, and there's still a lot of opinions now. Whatever side of the opinion fence that you are on, it's regardless. You're probably pretty passionate about it.
Sure.
And many people are, and it's something that's really made a lot of us have an opinion when we 9 times out of 10 maybe just were a little bit more, just let things be and not really have an opinion. So this has really brought out the opinions, and people that will still continue to do that. Hey, AJ here. Did you like that video? Please like and subscribe for more. Just like it every weekday.
Share it with your friends so they can stay up to date with all Sudbury news.